So today we're going to talk about a few different things with texting, email, phone calls, and really choosing your words wisely. So we've done some training with David Kane, and he helped us do some stuff with our Chevy store, and I've showed some of the folks this already. So for some of you it'll be a repeat or refresher, and others it'll be new for what we're going to talk about. So we'll go through this a little quickly. But digital transformation is years away, right? I don't see our company having to change anytime soon. And then what happened? COVID-19, and then everything changed this year. So we never know what's coming, right? So in talking about that, have you ever been misunderstood? Get a text message, what was that person thinking? And I think we can all say we probably have. So what we're looking at is it's time to really update our words in automotive sales. Things we've said before, while they're not bad, there's time for updating and making some changes. So these are some of the things that may still work, but are pretty outdated. Price is the easiest part of my job. Your presence is your leverage. We've never lost a deal over price, which none of us can say that because we've never sold every customer that we've had. So we've lost a deal over price before. Give my boss a reason to accept your offer. I'd like to earn your business. If I could, would you? So some other words that we could use that influence and have impact are things like, I'm glad you asked. I can help you with that right away. May I ask you? I understand how you feel. Two that I really like are, would you be open-minded to? Something that's, would you be open-minded to? People start to listen because it's open-mindedness, right? Or most people like to, same thing. If most people like to do something, a lot of times others will follow in that same footsteps. So they're curious. Those are just curious phrases, so to speak. Using progressive words that influence. So like we just talked about, most people like to, I'm not sure if it's for you, but just imagine, how would you feel if, and before you make up your mind. These are just some key phrases, some key words to say that can help your conversation and help spark dialogue with your consumer. Some communication tactics, quality engagement, driving sales. So this one's pretty good. I like this slide because it's you plus two. So when a customer submits a lead, it's you plus at least 2 or 3 other dealerships. You're never the only one that is getting the opportunity to talk with that customer, and I think we forget that. We're going to include, and if you need it, your managers will have this, the Digital Success Guide for ideas that work. So it'll talk about the texting strategies, the email strategies, and the video strategies, and things like that we'll be reviewing today. Control yourself, be likable, listen, and build trust, and your guests will follow your lead. When you're on the phone and you're controlling the call and you're saying words like what we just talked about, that is going to get the consumer to follow your lead instead of them trying to control the conversation. So a call outline or a script. I know people hate the word script, but it's just really meant for, and I like to call it more of a call outline. You're going to be warm greeting and provide a reason for calling. Be curious and helpful, build rapport and trust, confirm the vehicle of interest and plan usage. These are all things that are going to help you to develop rapport with the customer and also help find them the right vehicle that would fit their needs. So ask about their current vehicle, be interested in it, send a link and co-navigate to show the VDP. Co-navigation is something we're really going to be focusing on as well going into next year, and we'll talk more about it, but you really need to make sure that you're very familiar with your mobile site for this, because when you're talking to a consumer and you're co-navigating with them, most of the time they're going to be on their mobile phone. So it's very important that you get familiar with how to direct someone through what you're trying to show them on your phone as well. Describing your VIP experience, selecting a date and time and confirming details, and wrap up the call with a friendly goodbye. Salespeople that use call outlines or scripts are 2 times more likely to gain an appointment. That's sourced from caneautomotive.com. The person asking the question is normally in control of the call. I think we can all agree on that. So we're going to open the call with a warm greeting and a reason for calling. So this is just an example. Hi, may I speak with Dan? This is Dan. Hi Dan, my name is Jamie with Modern Nissan, and I'm calling because you were shopping online and wanted to know. I think that's very important because you were shopping online and wanted to know these questions. That's why we're returning their phone call, right? So it's not, hey, did I catch you at a good time? That's just an open-ended option for them to say, no, this is going in and really mirroring what their requests were, right? So yes, that was quick. I'm still online. So glad to hear that. I knew it was important. I called you right away. And then thank you. And then you go in and you earn the right to ask for that visit. So what got you in the market for a new vehicle? Whether it's their wife and they just had a baby, need more room, congratulations. You're building that rapport. That's a sweet name. Find the right vehicle. Things like that. Just trying to just build and establish that rapport and get to know what their needs are and be interested in them versus just yourself and trying to sell them a car. So this is a script that David gave us that I think if you said this, I've heard it work. I've seen it work. It's overcoming their primary objections right away with this. This little script here pretty much sums up everybody. Most people like to get their preferred vehicle, the best possible price, top value for their trade-in, and a payment that fits comfortably in their budget. Does that sound like you? So in that sentence there, you have basically described every situation that a consumer is calling or an objection that they could throw up, right? So great, let's go over the vehicle details. I think if you're struggling on the phone, try using that script right there, and I think you'll see it'll work wonders for you. So guide the vehicle discussion. Your request for more information mentions you wanted a whatever. I'll send you a link so we can look at it together. This is what we're talking about with co-navigating. Yes, that's what I looked at. And is this specifically what you're looking for, or would you like to look at other options? And I would consider options if they look as good, like this one, and a good deal, right? So then we're asking questions. How will you be using the vehicle? So get to know why they're wanting that particular vehicle. So then we're going to do our co-navigating like we talked about. I'm going to send you a link so we can look at the vehicle together. So this is where it's very important to know if they're on their desktop, if they're on their mobile device, so that you can follow along and guide them in the correct way. So I would recommend you practice this so that you're not on the phone saying, oh, hang on, this doesn't work or whatever, and then let us, if something isn't working, then you just need to let us know. So you're making notes of what you learned, certainly. And then you're going to use your notes to set a VIP appointment. So because you shared with me you have a new baby and want a safe vehicle plus a good deal, I'm recommending we look at the blank vehicle. It will meet all your needs and fit in your budget. I'd like to arrange a VIP visit for you to see it in person so we can have the vehicle and everything ready for you. Would that be okay? So if they don't want the appointment, then you can still describe how the VIP experience works. So I would get with your manager at your store just to make sure you understand what your VIP process is. And this can be as much as having the car pulled up, having a hang tag with their name on it, a special parking area, or it can be as little as we have the vehicle pulled up and it's just in a separate spot. It's just something that you want to describe to the customer prior to them coming in. So we'll share some of these different versions. Your team should have these already. And then here again, a VIP appointment inspires guests to buy. They typically close at a 70% rate. So the photos we've talked with most of your managers, or all your managers, we would like to start taking, even if it's 2 to 5 a week at your dealership of a happy customer with their vehicle. Make sure you get with Josh Moyer to get the talent release form. And then if you send the talent release form in along with that photo and the dealership, he can get those posted for us on social media. Here's the scripts I'll be sending out to you guys as well. Now we're going to talk about texting fundamentals, texting strategies. So obviously we have to gain permission to text from our CRM so we can track the messages. Be friendly, focused, and answer the questions. Send a video and a link to the vehicles. Sell the value of a phone call and offer to see the vehicle or take to them. Always ask a question to drive engagement, and include your phone number in the body of the text to make it easy for them to click to call. So when we're doing our text opt-ins, we have the opportunity to make those personal. We don't just have to go and click and just use whatever everybody else is probably using to try to get engagement. We can be a little more personal. with those. So be friendly but not too casual. So be friendly is okay, but don't be sending smiley face emojis. Let's treat them with respect. We don't know them at that level. So here's a couple of examples for texts. Which one would you open and why, right? So each one of them has a phone number, so that's what we're talking about, putting your phone number in the text message so they can easily just click the number and call you back. The one that we circled here is, Chelsea, I have the blank price information for you. This is Joel at Modern Toyota. So you're going to mirror back the request that the customer had in their lead to you, right? You're going to, that way, if they have been shopping multiple dealers and they get a slew of text messages come in, but they see the one from Modern that has mirrored back something that they have asked about, they're more likely to click on that text message and open it up and opt in because you've taken the time to send them a personalized text as well as look at their lead and make notes and have information that they're requesting. So make your messages relevant in each text. We just received a new blank I think you'll love. Click here to see the details. Here's a link to new incentives. So whatever we're doing, we're not just sending them a text message just to send them fluff in a text message. This is one communication form that people still have a high open rate with, and we don't want to mess that up for our store. Make it easy, like we said, we're going to include the phone number in the text message. And a word of caution about texting, a lot of times they'll be texting and they just stop. So try to push for the phone call like we talked about. Don't just rely simply on text messages. I'll go in the CRM and see a whole bunch of communication with text messages, and then all of a sudden it just goes blank, it just stops. So while texting is great, we want to try to push for that phone call as well early in the process. Now we're going to talk about email fundamentals and some email strategies here. Create a personal subject line that inspires them. Example, Eve, 2021 Toyota Highlander price. Focus on the request in the first sentence of the email. That's just something we have talked about forever. Mirror their requests and answer their questions. Provide a price if asked, and engage with them with a question or two. So the thing is, if we can provide in the first one or two sentences, the answer to what they're asking, they're more likely to continue reading that email and any subsequent emails that we are sending them. So automotive industry email open rates are very low at 12.6%. So you've got to have a compelling subject line if you expect them to read your email. We currently have our email templates are all set up. They have subject lines. Those are just guides. We want to start working to tweak those, and we're going to be working on the process. But we're going to start. That is something that we should start soon. I'd like to see us start it. This year is changing that subject line, because when you think about a consumer, like we looked at their text messages, they get 5 or 6 from different dealerships. It's no different than the battle of the inbox, right? So this is an example of a customer's inbox that's searching for a vehicle. They're gonna get 6, 7, 8 different emails, right? So what subject line is gonna work best? We use their name in the subject line. Explore the 2020 Tacoma inside. Jack, may we help you today? So use your guest name or compelling subject line and a snapshot of the message inside of your subject, and this is going to increase your open rates. We don't use auto response, so we don't have to worry about that. So here's some example email approaches that we want to talk about. What's the best price? So a good subject line for a best price is, Dan, the 2020 Tacoma pricing details from Jamie at Modern Toyota. When I see that, I know that that person has read my email, and they've looked at my lead, and they know what I want. So if I get a subject line like that, I'm going to expect then when I open that to have that information. But you're going to stand out from all the other dealers that are just sending in the boring, generic subject lines that don't have anything to do with what the customer is interested in. This will increase your communication with the customer by doing this. So availability, what's a good subject line? Dan, the 2020 RAV4 availability from Jamie at Modern Toyota. There again, we're mirroring what that customer is looking for, what their needs are, and we're addressing that in the subject line. Then we have to make sure we follow through with that in the email itself. So, mirroring back their request, lead comments. I was curious why this car has such low miles and what is the best price. Hi, customer name Zola. Thanks for asking about the best price on the 2020 Tacoma. The reason for the low miles is if you don't provide a price, you risk losing the guest interest. So be sure to talk with your manager on how you guys want to do the pricing. Everybody at this point should